Could Harry have controlled the Basilisk? Hey, brother. Okay, so here's the thing. We all know Harry can talk to snakes, and we've even seen him control them, some. First, we see him talk to the boa constrictor at the zoo, which he sets free on Dudley. Wait a second, could that boa constrictor have been Voldemort's snake Nagini? No, it's not. That's a theory that floats around the internet like once every 3 weeks, but that snake's actually born in captivity, and Nagini is not a boa constrictor, so no, it's not, okay? We good? Cool. Either way, we don't hear Harry tell the boa constrictor to attack Dudley or anything, but I feel like Harry was able to, convey the sentiment of he and Dudley's relationship through the glass, probably like with his eyes or something. People are always talking about those things.
Just the eyes, of course. You have
My mother's eyes, yeah.
Point is, the boa constrictor does snap playfully at Dudley's heels, according to Harry. So yeah, message sent and received. Then, of course, Harry more forcefully and successfully commands the snake at the dueling club to not attack Justin Finch-Fletchley, aka Jeff!
Justin Finch-Fletchley.
That echo? Jeff! What's going on here? But if Harry could control those snakes, why couldn't he control the Basilisk in the Chamber of Secrets? Sure, Tom claims the Basilisk only obeys him, but is that true? Because, I have news for you guys. Tom Riddle, not a famously trustworthy guy. Don't be fooled by the whole tall, pale, and handsome routine, y'all. Given the chance, he will try to kill you, but probably just petrify you for a few months, But when you wake up, you are gonna have a stiff neck. You'll go to change lanes, check your blind spot. You can't do it. That's how he gets you. But is it possible that as a Horcrux himself, Harry had the exact same authority over the giant laser-eyed snake that Tom Riddle did? Today, we're diving into the Chamber of Secrets to find out if Harry could have done more than fight the Basilisk. Could he have actually controlled it? Y'all, now we gotta take a quick pause to say thank you to today's sponsor, BetterHelp. Because you know how Harry's all like, I don't go looking for trouble. Trouble usually finds me. Well, I feel like sometimes the same is true with therapists. Not everyone's looking for a therapist, but somehow your barber, dental hygienist, rideshare driver, or barista just ends up being one. You're all like, see, the thing is, I'm the chosen one. You'd think that'd make all the difference, but she's wrong, sister. And they're like, so just the pumpkin spice latte then? Yes, grande, please. Jeez. But you know what I mean. These people are fun to talk to, but through no fault of their own, they're probably not licensed therapists. And that's where BetterHelp can, help. Y'all have heard us go on and on about this, but Ben and I are both big proponents for therapy. We both go to regular sessions and not necessarily always for major trauma incidents. In a lot of ways, it's steady maintenance, helpful nudges to keep you on track. Have you ever been caught in a disagreement with a friend, family member, or loved one, and all of a sudden stuff from the past starts coming up left, right, center? Yeah, chances are those little incidents could have been nipped in real time with the proper advice. But instead, now you're having 2 months or years or decades worth of disagreements all at once. But as the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Find one with BetterHelp. Plus, our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/super. That's betterhelp.com/super. Link is in the description down below. Don't get me wrong, you guys. Harry killing the Basilisk with the sword, super epic and dead useful. Ends up turning into the ultimate Horcrux killing weapon. And what a Harry Potter plan, am I right? Walking into the chamber armed with nothing but a sword he doesn't even know about yet? Classic Potter. But did he even need the sword he didn't have? Or might he have settled the matter more diplomatically with words, politeness, and reason? I was gonna try. Do you think it's funnier to go I was gonna do a Southern Harry thing here, hello, Basilisk. Mighty serpent of Slytherin. Hello, Basilisk. Mighty serpent of Slytherin. You look wonderful for your age, and I must say you've been doing a marvelous job carrying out Slytherin's goals. However, I would like to point out a small hypocrisy with that man you're taking orders from, Tom Fiddlesticks, or whatever he is. He claims to be purging the school of Muggleborns like Salazar wanted, and yet that girl he's killed right there with the red hair, yeah, she's got blood as pure as yours. And Tom himself, also a half-blood. Yeah. So, what do you say you do me a solid and just, eviscerate his guts or something? Like, how does that sound? Tom Fiddlesticks, or whatever he calls himself. Oh, Harry turning on the Southern charm. Honestly, I think he made a pretty good case, and I like to think the Basilisk is pretty reasonable. But no, he doesn't even try for civility, just straight to action. Typical Gryffindors.
Go down the trapdoor. Tonight.
He didn't even not have a sword that time. Harry never tries to control the Basilisk because Tom Riddle tells him it won't work and that the Basilisk only listens to him. But is Tom right about that? Because I really don't think so. I think the only chance he has of being correct is if maybe the Basilisk just recognizes him from when he was a student there and now all these years later is just still taking orders from that same kid. But even that is not consistent with how the Basilisk behaves. Tom himself does not emerge from the diary for most of the year and instead possesses Ginny and makes her command the Basilisk to attack the other students. And yes, she was being possessed as she later eases Harry's own concern over the same subject in year 5 when he thinks he's responsible for attacking Mr. Weasley. Well, that was a bit stupid of you, said Ginny angrily, seeing as you don't know anyone but me who's been possessed by you-know-who, and I can tell you how it feels. Good one, Harry. I mean, you trying to chat this girl up or what? So, but oddly in that situation, Ginny was like a Horcrux of a Horcrux. Like a piece of main Voldemort's soul is in the diary that is then pouring some of itself into Ginny, which that is an odd one. She's like a diet Horcrux. I don't think if you killed her while she was possessed, that would have destroyed the piece of soul, but she did have some of it inside her, so gray area. But either way, it proves that someone who doesn't look like Tom can control the Basilisk so long as they have a piece of Voldemort's soul, or more importantly, a piece of the heir of Slytherin inside of them. Which brings us back to one Harry James Potter, tasked with the difficult job of fighting a giant snake he can't look at nor apparently control. Or can he? Because honestly, I don't see why not. At all. Harry, as we all know, much like the diary, is a Horcrux, meaning he too has a piece of Voldemort and the heir Slytherin inside him. It is for this very reason Harry is even able to talk to snakes in the first place. Which, fun fact, after Voldemort destroys the piece of soul inside him right, here, Harry can no longer speak Parseltongue. But if Ginny can control the Basilisk via a piece of soul partially poured into her, then for sure Harry can. I mean, he has the same piece of soul living inside of himself, except even more intact.
A part of Voldemort lives inside him.
You might argue that, maybe sure Harry could have controlled it if it was just him, the Basilisk, but it's not. It's Tom Riddle and him, the Basilisk, and Tom Riddle, outranks him as the actual living, breathing heir of Salazar Slytherin. And I would say you would be right about that if indeed the flesh and blood Tom Riddle or Voldemort was down in the chamber. I think then he may outrank Harry. But as it stands at the end of Chamber of Secrets, Harry absolutely outranks Tom. Tom is the semi-formed echo memory thing, still made of, just blurry lines and nightmares and great cheekbones. But Harry actually is flesh and bone. He is really there, a real human with the same piece of soul inside of him. I mean, call me crazy, but is Harry not more Voldemort here than the piece of soul that is making up Tom Riddle by way of being a more fully formed human? If Ginny had fully died and Tom had fully come back, we may have had more of an Air Bud situation, where both parties got on either side of the chamber and called the Basilisk to see who it thought the true owner was. Here, Basilisk. Here, Basilisk. I mean, when Air Bud goes back to good old Josh Frem and tackles that clown guy, that is the moment. And not for nothing, but I looked up Josh Frem's actor to make that joke, and my God, it's talking about good cheekbones. But you know what? That doesn't happen. Tom never fully comes back, and thus Harry is more Voldy than even Voldemort himself in that moment. But now, you know what we've gone ahead and done now, you guys? We've riled up the fraction truthers out there. I can sense your comments from here. Actually, Voldemort made the diary first, so that piece of soul is actually half of Voldemort's soul, while Harry was the 7th Horcrux, so he's only got 1/64 of Voldemort's soul, so really, Tom does have the advantage? Actually, Harry would be 1/128 because it's 8 pieces of soul, not 7. Wow, y'all, calm down. Arguing with each other down in the comments before the video's even done? Don't worry though, I do have some clarifications for you. Not to worry. Because, actually, first of all, the ring is the first Horcrux, not the diary. He collects the ring in the summer of his 16th year, meaning when he is actually 15, so before the school year began, which would have been his 5th year at Hogwarts, and we know that's when he kills Myrtle and then makes the diary, so yeah, the ring came first. But hey, let's face it, you already knew that because you're a subscriber of this channel, and if you're not, well, please consider it. But as for like soul math and fractions and halves and whatnot, that's just not how it works. I mean, it'd be hilarious if it did work that way, because then when Voldemort comes back at the end of Goblet of Fire, it would mean Harry is actually still more Voldemort than Voldemort himself.
But I am the chosen one.
Because Harry would have been the 6th Horcrux in that case, making the piece inside of him 1/64th, and Nagini is the 7th, making the soul in her and then Voldemort Prime both 1/128th. So really, the Death Eaters would have had it right. Harry would be the new Dark Lord, and they should be rallying behind him, but alas, earwax, that is not how the soul math works. I find it helps to consider souls more like your immaterial essence rather than, like a solid piece of matter that is physically being split in two. Like, yes, Voldemort is putting a literal bit of himself into other objects, but it's very, metaphysical, but it continues to track. Like, the more he spreads himself out, the less human he becomes. But it all evens out. Each time he does it, each Horcrux just ends up having the same amount of soul inside them. Which really is all just a long way of saying, no, Tom does not have soul seniority over Harry when they're down in the chamber. Like, if Harry had but tried to command the Basilisk, I think he and Tom would have been in for the shock of a lifetime. In fact, as it stands, there may be actual proof in the book already that Harry does briefly control the Basilisk right here. The blinded serpent swayed, confused, still deadly. Fawkes was circling its head, piping his eerie song, jabbing here and there as its scaly nose, as the blood poured from its ruined eyes. Help me, Harry muttered wildly. Someone, anyone. The snake's tail whipped across the floor again. Harry ducked. Something soft hit his face. The Basilisk had swept the sorting hat into Harry's arms. Oh, did you catch that? Harry asks for help from anyone, and immediately, the Basilisk slides up the hat. Yes, admittedly, the Basilisk in this scenario is helping Harry defeat itself, but I don't think that matters, because the way it seems to work is that the snake obeys you pretty much no matter what. And you might think, well, okay, sure, but how would the Basilisk even know that the hat would help Harry out? And I am so glad you asked, because while we all know the hat used to personally belong to Godric Gryffindor, or, well, maybe you didn't know, but now you do, because you subscribed. 'Twas Gryffindor who found the way, he ripped me off his head. The founder put some brains in me so I could choose instead. Right, so all 4 founders put some of their brains and thoughts into the hat. Again, metaphysically, not like literal pieces of the brains. That'd be gross. But ultimately what it does is make the hat an artifact of all 4 founders. Thus, the hat and the Basilisk actually do share a thread of connectivity similar to the sword and the Basilisk. I mean, I don't think a worthy Slytherin could pull the snake out of the hat. That would be hilarious, but I think you know what I mean. The Basilisk, as Slytherin's pet, who was the best friend of Gryffindor, for were there such friends anywhere as Slytherin and Gryffindor, unless it was the second pair of Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw, would likely know the connection between the hat and sword and be able to obey Harry's command to give him help by sliding him the hat. Which, if you'll indulge me here, could also suggest that the Basilisk dislikes being used by Tom Riddle, and that perhaps Tom is using it out of alignment with Salazar Slytherin's original goals. Like, I've never really thought we knew the whole story about Slytherin leaving the school or what else was happening at the time. Like, maybe there was a much greater conflict between magic and non-magical people, and magical people genuinely needed protection from non-magical people. Like, maybe the Basilisk was Slytherin's solution and the others thought it was too extreme, or I don't know, maybe just lots of witches and wizards were dying, and to him it made zero sense to trust anyone from any Muggle family at all, which overall is definitely like not the right call. But you can see how like maybe if people like he loved, like if his wife had been killed by Muggles or something like that, because we know he has heirs, right? Obviously there's Voldemort exists. Like something could have happened to make him not trust the non-magical community. But then 1,000 years later, it all gets misconstrued, and now the Basilisk is at the hands of this terrible, genuinely evil person, and that's not what its original master intended, nor what it wants, which is why it's also like so bad at killing people, maybe, because like it doesn't want to. Oh no, I petrified him again. Sorry about that, Tom. But it keeps saying, let me rip you, let me tear you. But it never does any of those things. Like, what if it's because he's talking about Tom when he says that, like who he's angry at, like, oh, let me rip you, let me tear you. Or I'm still a big subscriber that he's just talking about like the cobwebs in the sewers, and he's just like, let me rip you. Okay, we've gone off the rails. But the point is, Harry could have controlled the Basilisk if he'd wanted to, or if he tried, but he sadly never did, because who knows what could have been, you know? But guys, what do you think? Could Harry have controlled the Basilisk? Let me know your thoughts in the towel section down below, but I'll tell you what, he could have. Guys, thank you so much, as always, for watching today's video. Don't forget to leave a like on it if you haven't already, and subscribe so you don't miss any future Harry Potter action from us. If you want to see what might have happened if Harry had tried to talk to the Basilisk, you can check out this series right here, What If Harry Was in Slytherin? The Basilisk is a much bigger character in that story, so I highly recommend you check it out. But otherwise, until next time, Ben, I will see you